14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit lifetimeepoxyfloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there you go. With that beautiful intro, we're back. We're live.
and played 2 years of varsity. And then, and you could just tell from the minute you saw him that he was going to be special. I was very blessed to have a cousin in Janet Latham that taught at the school and coached. And she told me about him coming up. And, his dad, Steve Rivers, of course, was the coach, had been a longtime coach at Decatur, and then went to Athens. And, of course, our good friend Jerry Adcock took over for him at Decatur. And Philip had a great career. If I remember correctly, he made some history too, because I believe he didn't play basketball as a senior. He enrolled early at NC State because he was such a good student. And Chuck Amato had taken over the program at NC State and had been.
I believe Norm Chow came along as his offensive coordinator.
And Chuck had been a longtime member of the defensive staff of Mickey Andrews and Bobby Bowden at Florida State. But Chuck Amato was an NC State graduate, and he brought Philip along, and Philip started the first game on a Thursday night for NC State. And you just knew when you saw him, like, wow. I mean, people questioned the way he threw the football from the standpoint of his mechanics and his release.
It was
in
a little
high
different,
school.
yeah.
It was a little different, but as soon as you saw him in high school throw the football, and again, to his dad's credit, Steve Rivers was a guy that believed in the running game. He let his son throw, but this was before spread offenses. That he didn't throw the ball 30 and 40 times a game. They ran it, and I'll just say, just as kindly as I can, his receiver core at Athens was not, outstanding at times. So, he still had a great career, and Norm Chow and Chuck Amato kind of unlocked everything by allowing him to play in a West Coast system. Because as you remember, Norm Chow was part of the BYU tree with Lavelle Edwards, and they believed in throwing the football around. And when you saw Philip as a freshman, you were just like, wow, this guy is legit.
Yes.
And he ended up being a 4-year starter at NC State. Then he goes to the Senior Bowl. There were questions about his mechanics still about throwing the football. And I'll never forget the week he put on in Mobile.
Oh, it was
pretty much after that, he was a lock to be a high first-round pick. And then he made more history by being traded for some dude named Eli Manning.
Yeah, because remember, Eli did not want to play for the Chargers.
He did not.
He made it well known that if he drafted, he would not play for the Chargers.
Right. He wanted to play for the New York Football Giants. And so the Chargers drafted Eli number 1, but then traded him to the Giants, and the Giants had drafted Philip at number 4 and traded Philip to the Chargers, and the rest is history. The only thing Philip didn't do was win a Super Bowl. It's kind of interesting, just like Dan Fouts. But, I mean,
he got to the 2007 AFC Championship game.
And he was remarkably, much like Tom Brady, very durable. He had 1 year where he tore his ACL, but he still played in the game.
He played in the 2007 championship game with a torn ACL against New England.
And that was really the only significant injury of his 17 years, because he was the quarterback for the Chargers for 16. He spent 2020 with the Colts, and then never really filed his retirement papers. Now, a couple times the Tennessee Titans, I think, tried to get him to ruin his life and come out of
retirement
where he probably would have ended up in traction.
Tried to lure him back into the game. There were a couple instances.
But pretty much everybody that knew Philip Rivers and watched him play and how competitive and smart he was pretty much knew he was going to go into his dad's business, and that's being a high school coach. And he had bought a home, and he had already talked to St. Michael's Catholic in Mobile. They were a newer school. They had already agreed to make him kind of coach in waiting once he retired, Scott, from the NFL. And he semi-retired, took the job. His son Gunnar is now a junior quarterback for them, and they've already
he's a prospect
quickly. He's already got Power 4 SEC offers. And their program has quickly ascended, got to the semifinals last year in 4A, and they lost to somebody called the Jackson Aggies, who have one of the greatest 4A levels of talent that you've ever seen in your life. They're a 4A school with about 6 Division I players. Jeez. It reminds you of Hazelwood back in the day.
Oh.
And so they lost to Jackson twice last year and really fought hard, but they've got a really good program. And it's not the last you've heard of the Gunner clan, because, as you know, there's many of them. And so Philip has a huge family.
Yes, he does.
And this really makes me feel old. He's already grandfather, Philip. And so with his oldest daughter. And so, but
he is eligible for induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2026. Antonio Gates will go into the Canton later this summer. So
I'll just say this. He better go in. I've heard some people say yay and nay. Anybody that says nay, smack them upside their head and give them a lobotomy.
He pretty much
absolutely a freaking Hall of Famer. I don't care if he didn't win a Super Bowl. That's not a criteria for being in the Hall of Fame. You don't have to win a freaking Super Bowl to get into the Hall of Fame, okay? Dan Marino did not win a freaking Super Bowl.
He went to 8 Pro Bowls. He owns pretty much every Chargers franchise record. He's 6th in the NFL history in career passing yards at 63,440.
But that's not a Hall of Famer throwing for 63,000 yards.
And touchdown passes with 421.
These are probably the same people that told the WNBA ladies to wear those stupid shirts.
Oh, anyway, 256-576-4977. That's the number of the phone lines. You can join us this morning if you would like. Anyway, we parlayed that into the fact that we had high school football media days yesterday, and that, there'll be a lot of kids. Like we said, Phillip Rivers few moons ago was sitting in those chairs previewing what was to come for the Athens Golden Eagles. Just like yesterday, we had a lot of kids, a lot of talented individuals sit in those chairs and preview what is to come. 1 month from today, we will kick off a new high school football season. It's hard to believe that it's around the corner, but here she is.
Well, and we appreciate all the teams, all 17, for coming out yesterday, the players and the coaches. And we certainly appreciate all the other media that came out. And we feel like for the 3rd straight year, we did a great job of putting on an event, allowing these young people and the coaches to have a platform to tell everybody about their programs and be excited about playing, certainly. And we added a helmet to our collection, Scott.
Sparkman, we're getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting up there.
And I was told by Juan Johnson that he had one for us
for James Clemens.
Yeah, it's just he brought 2. Like he had a home and away yesterday, man. But
he did. He came everything. And I tell you what, the best dressed award goes again to Hazel Green.
Oh, the red suit, man.
Hazel Green.
Jordan.
Yes, Hazel Green stole the show with the red suit,
and it was his first time ever wearing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, he did not buy it just for media
He had it
days.
just locked and loaded in the closet there.
And it worked. And I tell you what, it was so fun.
And it matched his jersey, too. So it was like a color rush thing, that NFL stuff?
Yes. And it was so fun because several of the kids that were in attendance, several of the athletes that were in attendance yesterday had never even been inside Toyota Field.
Yeah, that was cool.
And so it was fun to take them out to the deck, the Sports Med deck there, and show them the field and tell them and let them know. A lot of their minds were blown when we let them know that there was an actual football game played inside there when UNA and Jack State played at Toyota Field.
Old Rich Rod while he was still there.
Yeah, how do you get to play a football game here? How
did you blow their minds by telling them it was one way?
It was one way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, they were like, one way? I was like, yeah, one way. Offense came the entire way.
These kids, they're more college football 26. They ain't thinking about one way. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, it was really cool for them to be able to see it. And shout out to Ben Thomas, making the long trek for Mobile to help out our good friend Thomas Ashworth of AL.com as they covered the event. And it was Ben Thomas's first time seeing Toyota Field.
It was impressive. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Brandon is with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Real impressed with some of those gentlemen yesterday. People didn't come in all sweatpants and slides.
No.
Shirts with the.
No, there were. I mean, but look, there. There were some players, though, that and look, granted, it is summer vacation.
Yeah.
And they came in their shorts, which is perfectly fine. They had their
B.
jerseys
Hall,
on.
Bradford Hall, that dude, he drove like 6 hours to get there, man. He was in Orange Beach and got up yesterday morning, drove 6 hours just to be at media day, man. Shout out to B. Hall.
I think one of the greatest stories, one of the best stories of the day yesterday was when Coach Jerry Adcock of Whitesburg Christian Academy was joking with some of the coaches and everybody. And there were several players that were showing up. They were able to drive themselves.
He was talking to Juan Johnson of James Clemens.
There were several players that were driving themselves to the media days, and Coach was like, "Well, that's a good thing to have." He goes, I think he said they had like maybe 36, 38 players.
He said, "I've got 35 players,
only 13 of them can drive." Only a 13-year-old enough to drive. And he said like 4 or 5 of them just turned 16 of the 13.
Jerry Adcock, classic story.
Yep.
Well, I was thinking about Scott. My wife made me take her to all these fancy restaurants because we didn't go anywhere for our anniversary this year. We ended up having to stay home because of stuff for my son. And I'm going to tell you, when you get to some of these places, the price of drinks has gone insane.
Wow.
We paid $14 for 2 sweet teas at a restaurant the other night.
Oof. 7 apiece or 14 apiece?
7 apiece.
Well, that's still pretty high. Was it a huge was it a huge glass?
You got 2 options. 1, you can order water, or 2, you can just bring in your own Gatorade.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it like $3.50 and thought that was, that's the new norm. And then I get there and it's $7, which I guess I shouldn't say a whole lot. The table next to us had waited so long that they got up and left by the time we sat down. And the lady turns around and says, "Would you like some complimentary crab ragoons?" And I looked at him and said, "It's a bad day to be a ragoon's all I can tell you." And ran through 2 plates of those things. What stuff is good, really good. And I was speaking to a gentleman there sitting at the table next to me about Darius Miles.
Oh,
they have set his trial date for December 1st.
That's right. They did.
I saw that.
And I'm very interested to see the evidence they got against this guy to see if they are legitimately charging him or if he's getting railroaded for political purposes. And we're going to find out in about 4 months what they've actually got on him.
Well, I have heard they've offered him a couple of plea deals, and he and his lawyer have turned them down, which I don't blame them. They've turned both of them down because I think they feel like they're too harsh, because that would have to be it. Because, I mean, again, why would you, if you didn't think it was fair? So I think they're going to take this thing all the way through to trial. And I would agree with you, Brandon. He did, he was guilty of giving, his friend his weapon. He did not pull the trigger, and I don't believe that he deserves a long sentence. But that's just my opinion. I based upon what I know about the case and what they've done with it.
Well, to me, it'd be very interesting to see, because this has been going on now for 2 years. And the actual authorities have yet to come out and talk about what they've got that gives them a concrete case against this guy. Mm-hmm. Because they're not talking about what went on to other people. I've seen in the news where they talked about that Jeep circled the block 2 or 3 times, and people said shots came from the Jeep. So very, very interesting, because I care whether this guy got his life ruined over political stuff. We've seen what happened with Duke Lacrosse, Mike Nifong, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you arrest somebody and charge them doesn't always make them guilty, and you find that out sometime later. So that was a big scandal for us, and I'm very interested to see what goes on with those guys. And speaking of that, Carrollton, Georgia, in the news.
Oh, I saw that. Wow, that's crazy,
back
man.
In with them.
That was
I don't
nuts.
understand these high school kids, man. 2 kids arrested for murder from 2 different schools in Carrollton, Georgia, and all quiet from down there right now.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. All right, Brandon. Thanks for the phone call, bud.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we 7:20. Let's slip in our first break of the morning. When we come back, phone lines back open to you, and some more college football conversation. A lot of stuff to get through today on a Tuesday. Live from Bill Penney next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693. By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm here with our good friend, John Kendall. He's got 23 years of retail mortgage experience in the Tennessee Valley, and he's powered up with the #1 retail mortgage lender in the nation.
That's right, Scott. We have joined with Cross Country Mortgage, and that is true. We're the #1 retail mortgage lender in America. And with that powerhouse team and our experience here locally, we're ready to go.
They've got 120 mortgage, refinance, and home equity solutions to fit every need. If you call on Cross Country Mortgage, it is for the win.
That's right. You can reach me, Scott, at 256-562-3780, or you can go to crosscountrymortgage.com and then search my name.
It's Cross Country Mortgage and John Kendall, a powerhouse team. One more time, John.
That's crosscountrymortgage.com, 256-562-3780. If we can't close your loan, it simply cannot be closed.
Equal Housing Opportunity Company, NMLS, number 3029.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
$7:23 on a Tuesday morning. Talking Ball live from Bill Penney Toyota, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Let's get straight out to the phone lines. Keith Niebuhr is going to join us at 7:30. Going to talk a little Florida football recruiting. But let's get out to the phone lines real fast. Arthur from Arab is with us. Good morning, Arthur.
Hey, fellas. It's so good to hear your voices again. I haven't called you in a couple of years, but I'm going to try to get back to calling you more regularly. But I can tell you, last year, I only went to one game. That was the game against Missouri, which was a good game, but I was only able to stay in the stands about 30 minutes because it was so hot. Being 72, I chickened out after 30 minutes.
That's okay. That's quite, I mean, hey, that's fine.
But so I've decided that I'm just going to go to night games from now on.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's a good call.
My most satisfying Alabama victory. and we all got our favorite games, and we all got the greatest games. But I guess this is my favorite and my most satisfying game that I went to. Man, this was absolutely it. It was a Tennessee game from 2 years ago.
The 27-0 second half.
Oh yeah, we were down 20-7.
And everybody was celebrating. The Tennessee fans were all yakking, thought it was over.
I almost left the stadium, Drew.
Oh, wow.
Me with a lot of other people, I'm sure. But I stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
Yeah,
Alabama outscored them 27-0 in the second half.
Well, yeah, starting with the Isaiah Bond deep ball. Yep.
Satisfying and my favorite game. Even though no national championship was involved, it was just very special. Mm-hmm. And I met a really nice Tennessee fan sitting next to me.
Wow.
Of course, he was close to my age, so
I'm glad they still exist.
I tried to be as nice as I could to him.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That was really special.
It was.
I'm sure you have a most satisfying game that you have, and Scott has.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no doubt that one was very satisfying. It was, I think, the best half of football for that team that season. They played very good complementary football, and as we know, the biggest play of the game was the strip sack with Chris Braswell, and then Jihad Campbell picking it up. The ironic thing is, Jihad
right down there in the end zone, near close to where I almost always sit, and that was just incredible, unbelievable. Enjoyed that so much. I had a great view. Of course, you have a great view sitting anywhere in the stadium.
Yes, sir. And ironically, Jihad was in the wrong place assignment-wise, but he ended up, it worked out beautifully as he picked it up, scooped it, and scored. And it looked like, Josh Heupel had been hit where it hurts.
Tickets for the Tennessee game this year are going to be around $238 or something like that. But I can go. I'm going to try to get that ticket as long as it's at night.
Right,
see.
Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
great memory, Arthur.
Great talking to you guys.
Good
talking to you
again,
as well.
Sir. Arthur from Arab.
Yeah, it brings up memories because I've been fortunate, very, very, very fortunate. Both on to be in Knoxville for some Tennessee Florida games, to be in on the field for those, on the field for Kick Six, on the field for the game of the century down there in Tuscaloosa with Alabama, LSU. So, I've seen a lot of great ball games. So, there's a lot of great ones that stand out in my head, but they're all for, weird different moments. The Kick Six was great, but to me, one that shot thrills and spine down my thing was in 2004 with Auburn and LSU, when Auburn misses the extra point against LSU, but LSU is offsides.
The 10-9 game.
The 10-9 game, and they get a redo on the extra point, and that keeps Auburn's perfect season rolling along down there in 2004. There are a lot of great ones. I tell you, let's get a break in. Keith Niebuhr's probably got a lot as well. He's seen a lot of football games. So he's also been busy doing a lot of college football recruiting.
And traveling with his golf adventures as well.
Yes. He's got a lot of frequent flyer miles, and he can jet across the world.
And he's now the publisher and owner of Gators Online. So he's going to have a lot of team intel for us as well. And we'll talk a little recruiting because they got a big flip yesterday. So, and I did see Keith. He was there for one day
at SEC Media Days.
SEC Media Days. I happened to run into him upstairs and talk to him. I said, we're going to get him on soon. And he and Zach Albaverdi and Corey Bender are doing a great job with Gators Online. That's now part of the On3/Rivals network.
Yeah, we've gone back with Keith to the days when he was at Auburn. So we'll reconnect with Keith Niebuhr coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A warm afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-90s. It'll feel like it's anywhere between 105 to 107. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are also going to be possible this afternoon. Much the same as we head into your Wednesday. We're going to start the day in the mid-70s, ending the day in the low and mid-90s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Calling all UAH Charger students and parents. Welcome to Nexus, the first student apartment community built especially for you. Nexus is brand new, located next to the UAH Fitness Center. Enjoy your own bedroom, bathroom, fully furnished units, kitchen, washer-dryer, study room, and game lounges. And best of all, an easy walk to campus and classes. Call today to enjoy the complete college experience. Move in before fall classes start. 256-683-3939. And go Chargers.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
The Atlanta Braves.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Line shot, left field, around third base, Albies. Here's the throw from Lux. Not in time. Braves win as the rookie walked it off in 11 innings.
All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Oh, there you are, 7:33 on a Tuesday morning. Talking Ball live from Bill Penney Toyota Service Department, where their doors have been open since 7 a.m. They won't close until 7 p.m. They're going to reopen them on Saturday morning as well, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So put that pedal down, cruise on in here. Bill Penney Toyota, get your car serviced at Bill Penney Toyota. They'll take great care of you. Our next guest was at SEC Media Days for a day. A lot of Florida Gator conversation coming out of SEC Media Days. DJ Lagway, obviously, the center of conversation.
His health
and what the Gators can do this year. Because remember, last year we said going into the whole entire season, if they could navigate that schedule somehow, some way, Billy Napier would be good. They did. They navigated it. They got through it. The recruiting is decent. And now you look at Florida and, okay, now there's a little more expectation, I think, surrounding this Gator program.
Well, I mean, I think the recruiting went from, not good to more than decent. I think it was outstanding by the time it ended. It ended up with a top 10 class. I want to say maybe number 6 overall when it was all said and done for the 2025 cycle. And they're doing very well right now under Billy Napier, who was, of course, under a lot of heat going into year 3 last year. Certainly was it was a lot of conversation about him, especially after that first month. But DJ Lagway, due to injury, was forced into the action as the starting quarterback. Got injured some, but when he was on the field, there was no denying his talent. And people forget before he got injured against Georgia, they were right there in that game with a chance to win it. Ended up going 7-5 and with a backup quarterback at the end. But if DJ Lagway is healthy, this Gator team is very dangerous, especially with Jordan Ball, sophomore running back, who I think they stole in recruiting a year ago. I thought he was outstanding. And now, from what I heard in Atlanta, Lagway up to 241 pounds.
Yeah, almost like
he looked great in his suit. But we're honored to be joined on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline by the publisher and owner of Gators Online, part of On3/Rivals. Got to say /Rivals now. But it was great seeing Keith Niebuhr back in his old stomping grounds of Atlanta, as he's now, of course, doing a great job covering his home school, his alma mater, the Florida Gators. Keith, it's great to have you back on the show with Drew and Scott in Huntsville. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm out walking, so forgive me if there's a little background noise, all right?
And we know you're always on the move, Keith.
Always moving.
And before we really get started with the Gators, we know how much of a golf aficionado you are. I saw what you tweeted or posted about Scotty Scheffler, already a top 10 all-timer in your mind.
Well, I think so. I think when you look at, if you look at just the number of majors won, obviously he doesn't have as many as Mickelson or Trevino or Player or any of those guys, but the 4 that he's won, they've all been by 3 or more shots, right? Or 2 or more shots. He's winning against the depth that they've never seen before in professional golf, and he's only 29. I mean, sometimes you have to look out into the future too. I remember writing a story when I used to cover professional tennis. Roger Federer had won 1 major, and I talked to a bunch of all-time tennis greats, from Cliff Drysdale to Stan Smith, the great Stan Smith. People like that, and they all said that this guy's got the potential to be the best player ever. And lo and behold, when he quit, he probably was the best player ever. Now, you could argue that he's been surpassed at this point, but you have to be able to project too. And when you look at all the numbers and you dissect them and where he's winning and how much he's winning by and what he's doing to the fields, it's hard to not think that this guy is truly in that highest class.
Yeah, it really is.
And Keith, I did not realize this. Yesterday was Billy Napier's birthday.
It is. He's only 46,
46 years old.
He's younger than me.
Yeah, but I tell you what, he handled himself very well last season. I think he navigated some rough waters last year. This year, he handled himself he looked good, sounded good. The team sounded good at media days. A little different feeling, I think, surrounding Florida this year.
Yeah, they did survive last year with that 4-game win streak late. People forget that he had already gotten the big vote of confidence before then. The athletic director, Scott Strickland, had already said it was actually more than a vote of confidence. He said, look, this guy's going to be the coach next year. And so then they went out and they closed the season strong. DJ Lagway started 7 games. He was 6-1 in those games. The only loss was the Georgia game when Florida led 7-3. Florida was moving down the field up 7-3, and DJ Lagway sustained that hamstring injury, missed the rest of the game, and ended up losing by a couple of touchdowns. But that was the one loss. So statistically, he's got a lot to work on. In 1,900 yards, 60% completion rate, 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's kind of the red flag. But again, he was only a true freshman. He was thrust into the starting role when Graham Mertz sustained that season-ending ACL injury to his knee. And then Lagway, he sustained some injuries of his own. 2 different times, in fact. So he was dealing with a lot himself, but the guy's a gamer. He's a winner. And, there was a story of some of his teammates talking about how impressed they were that he played hurt against LSU last year. Remember, he'd been hurt 2 weeks earlier, injured 2 weeks earlier against Georgia, missed the game at Texas, which they were blown out in, and came back 14 days after sustaining that hamstring injury against Georgia and helped lead Florida to a win over LSU. And in that game, he was really efficient, over 200 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, just got him up and down the field. They end up winning by almost a couple touchdowns. So that really started things off for this program. That was really, you would argue, the biggest win of the Billy Napier era, because then they followed that up by beating Ole Miss the next week. And now you've got some momentum. But, that doesn't happen probably if DJ Lagway doesn't play injured against LSU. And that's where it all started. He won the respect of his teammates. And, you need that guy to be the leader. There is, a lot of that's coach speak, but a lot of it isn't as well. And that you want that guy to be the guy that's not only leading you on Saturday, but, Sunday through Friday as well. And I think they've got someone in DJ Lagway that's like that. And the guy just is full of positive energy. Drew, you were there. You've seen him interviewed. He's got a little bit of, I'm not comparing him to Tim Tebow on the field. I'm comparing him to that sunny outlook, right? It's just a constant smile. And it kind of is, he's energetic, and it draws people to him. And I think there's, on Saturdays, that's the guy you want to be in the foxhole with.
Well, in order to win, it's still a line of scrimmage league. And I know there were some issues the first 2 years on the offensive and defensive lines, but both seemed to make a lot of strides last year. And then I've heard a lot of positive buzz, Keith, about offensive line potentially being top 3 or 4 in the SEC, and then defensively continuing to improve. And I think Ron Roberts coming in really helped that last year as well, because I know he and Billy Napier have a history.
Yeah, now you look on the offensive line, and 2 of the 5 offensive linemen projected to be starters at Florida made the first team preseason All-SEC squad. That's pretty significant. I mean, 2 of the 5 were Florida guys, left tackle Austin Barber, and your center, Jake Slaughter, who's the returning first team consensus All-American. So those 2 guys are really the linchpins of the offensive line. But you also have 2 other starters back, and they've got some promise too. One of them, used to play for Alabama, Damian George, who's kind of stuck into that right guard spot, and or I can't remember which guard spot he's in now, Drew, gosh, but he's playing guard and doing well. Najee Harris, another young player, is the other starting guard. And then at right tackle, you're bringing in a guy, Bryce Lovett, who was a freshman All-SEC pick last year. So they feel like they've made some real progress on the offensive line, because when you look back to last year, going into the season, you thought, if they don't get better offensive line play, they're dead in the water. And early in the season, the offensive line was not great. It got better and better, starting with the big win over Kentucky, where they just dominated on the line of scrimmage. And then by the end of the season, you're starting to see the potential. Now, the statistics may not bear that out when you look at Florida's offensive output last year. But again, you're factoring in starting quarterback was hurt. The guy that then came in was hurt, and he was also a true freshman. So when you added it all up, you could see the potential there. Now, on the defensive line, you now all of a sudden have 2 potential first-round picks in 2026. Tariq Sapp, who's your strong side end. So he's basically an edge, but he's a bigger edge, right? And he, I don't know if you guys saw, there were some clips of him bench pressing on Twitter yesterday, or X, and he's benching 450 pounds. So that is 1980s powerlifting strength on a football field. So he's got a lot of potential. And then inside, you've got a kid named Caleb Banks, who is one of their great finds. You guys know this. Florida was not recruiting against Alabama and Georgia and LSU 2-3 years ago, right? So they had to really go out and find guys. One of the guys they found in the transfer portal was Caleb Banks, who at Louisville had only played in 7 games over 2 seasons and had like 10 tackles. Well, by the end of last season, he was dominating on the line of scrimmage, was the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week after the win over Ole Miss, had something like 6 or 7 QB hurries in the win over LSU, was flat out dominating. And now you're saying this guy's a possible first-round draft pick. So he's back inside. So, you've got some real talent up front. And then there's a guy named George Gums, who's your other edge position guy, which they call the jack outside linebacker. So he's more of your pure pass rush guy, 5 technique, 7 technique, maybe even 9, I don't know. But they're going to put him out wide. He's going to go after the quarterback. And, again, another good find, guys. He was a walk-on receiver 5 years ago at Northern Illinois. And now you're talking about a guy that, is potential second, third, or fourth round draft pick. That's a good evaluation.
Well, and
evaluation out of the transfer portal.
It's something, they've all got to kind of come together, because you look at their schedule, and they open up with LIU, but then you turn around though, and it's South Florida, LSU, Miami, Texas A&M in a 5-game stretch, pretty much right out of the gates.
Yeah, I think we're going to know. We're going to know pretty quickly. By the 6-game mark, we're going to know how this thing's working out, okay? And really, to me, the two crucial games, I think, week 3 against LSU, that's Florida's first SEC game, but also their first big-time opponent. They play USF the week before, got to be a little careful, but the first big-time opponent is at Tiger Stadium. At that point, LSU will have already played Clemson, so they're going to have that big game experience that Florida won't have. So regardless of what happens in Baton Rouge, you play at Miami the next week. Okay. They can't lose both those games. They cannot lose both those games. Now, consequently, if they win both those games, they are right in the playoff picture, with the next game being after a week off, Texas at home. Okay. So you can really start to see that if you can win those early games against LSU and Miami, there's some real potential. They've got to at least go 1-1 in those 2 games, though, I think, to really be what you would call a formidable challenger to, the hierarchy of the SEC this year.
Well, and we were talking to Keith Niebuhr, GatorsOnline.com, and I got to say this too: a big storyline going into Atlanta was the health overall of certainly of DJ Lagway because of what he means. Because we know, and it's like that with a lot of SEC schools. The backup QB situation is murky and/or a lot of inexperience, a drop off. We talked about the drop off when he was injured against Georgia. But how healthy in your mind is Lagway heading into camp, Keith?
Well, nobody really knows except the people on the inside. I mean, they're saying one thing and he's saying one thing, but we won't know until, August 30th, August 31st, right in there. The question for people that don't know, everybody listening, he did not throw in spring camp. They called it a lower body / shoulder issue, but didn't go into any details. And they've been really guarded about this. He's been working with some guys over in Jacksonville to kind of work through this injury. People thought that maybe he just needed some rest. So let's hope if you're Florida, let's hope that's accurate. That, they've got a team of doctors looking at him, and they've got a whole plan. And that plan sometimes scares people fans, because they hear, well, wait a second, he only threw 30 passes yesterday. Well, that's just part of the plan. So they're working him back slowly. They do not want to rush him back, because if you rush him back and he gets, it could end up stunting the whole recovery process. So, that's why they get paid the big bucks, those physicians, and why I don't, you know what I mean? So, but I know I'm talking in circles, but that's because we really don't know. I'll tell you what, I'll take him at his word. He says he's throwing fine. He feels great. And he's excited to get things going next week when fall practice starts.
What does the recruiting look like? I mean, last year we felt like if Florida got some wins, Billy Napier would start getting the recruits. They got some of those wins last year. How's that kind of translated on the recruiting trail going into 26?
Got a flip yesterday.
Yeah, last year, what was that, Drew? What'd you say?
I was talking about I believe they got a flip yesterday from Nebraska, a cornerback flip.
Oh, well, he actually did that a little while ago, C.J. Bronaugh. But the recruiting's been good. It's been solid. They've been able to be a little more selective this year, as you can imagine, because now they're holding more of the cards, let's be honest, right? They have decided at Florida that they're going to build the program still through recruiting high school players predominantly over anything else, and be ultra selective and picky via the transfer portal. Everybody's doing it differently. Some schools are going out and grabbing 25 guys a year out of the transfer portal. They haven't done that. And now we're going to find out if that plan really worked, right? Because, yes, they went 8-5 last year, but they had 2 losing seasons prior to that. So they've been slowly building. Now it's time to show some of the benefits of that. But the recruiting's been solid. And I'll tell you, a year ago at this time, I'm not sure if my memory's correct, if they had an offensive lineman committed. They might have had 1. But right now they've got 5 committed. And guys that they picked, and guys that they like and think have high upsides. And, so that's just one area where you can say, look, there's the benefit of winning. You're seeing it on the recruiting trail on the line of scrimmage. They've also got probably the top defensive lineman in the state of Florida, Kendall Gervil, committed as well. So they've been able to do a lot of things. And look, I mean, even in this NIL era, it's still a lot about player development and relationships and all that, because all the big boys are going to kind of offer up the same NIL packages or similar packages. You know what I mean? They've got, what you're seeing now is you're seeing them actually get wins over bigger programs, right? They're actually, KJ Ford was a guy a lot of people wanted, a defensive end out of Texas, defensive end edge. And it used to be, you could see, and I always go back to Auburn when I covered Auburn, so I'm getting loud out here. When they kind of started going down a little bit under Gus Malzahn, They no longer were beating Alabama and Georgia for Kerryon Johnson and people like that. They were competing against Arkansas and NC State. Well, forget about the rankings. Who did you beat to land, guys? And so for Florida, the first couple of years, even when they signed 4-stars, they weren't beating a lot of people, right? But then DJ Lagway, you beat everybody. You beat SC, you beat Clemson, you beat Texas A&M. Jaden Ball, who you mentioned earlier, Drew, running back. Yeah, Alabama charged late. They beat them. So you're seeing more of that happening. So the quality of players going up. So all these guys committed to Florida in this 2026 class, almost all of them, they have beaten big name schools for. And again, to me, that's more important than where a kid's ranked. Who did you beat? Who could he have really committed to, right? Who was the offer firm from? And again, they're beating some big boys for some of these guys now, which is a change, and it's a much needed change.
Yeah, it has been quite a turnaround, no doubt. Everybody, and I was fortunate to be around Billy Napier, someone who's at Alabama, great guy, first class dude. And, and at Louisiana, I thought he did a great job, and I thought he did a great job of putting together an organization to evaluate players, and that's carried over at Florida. Had to be patient, but as you said, they've done a great job of evaluating talent in the portal. And a guy like Ball. He was not a 5-star player, but he probably should have been, it turns out. But they did a great job evaluating him and beating Alabama to get their who should be their starting tailback this fall for the Gators, no question. Well, Keith, we appreciate it. We know you're very busy. It's a busy time. Tell everybody how they can join Gators Online and what you guys have going on at On3/Rivals.
Well, I would just go to GatorsOnline.com. We've got a big story going up this morning on Miles Graham, their star linebacker, a guy, by the way, that they had to hold off Alabama to land.
There you go.
His father was the great Florida running back, Ernest Graham. Very good.
Yes.
All-SEC player. Yes. But Bama really got in there late, and I'm just telling you guys, it was a lot closer than you think. And he's now become a young star for Florida. So that's a guy that we've got something on this morning. And then obviously fall preseason practice starts next week. So this is really the time to get in there and check it out.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.
Keith.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, let's get a break in. We'll wrap up hour one coming up next.
I think.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Making deals. Sorry, when. By the way, it was good to see AJ Seaton yesterday, and that was Papa.
No longer in commercials, but
no, that was Papa Seaton.
Now he's a senior, though.
Yes,
a rising senior and a force along the offensive and defensive lines for Bob Godsey's Madison Academy Mustangs.
Oh man, what a day it was yesterday! It was fun. Let's see.
Yep, it was. We got to thank Metro Diner too, another great sponsor of ours, and for providing the food and everything for the players. And it went over very, very well. And again, I thought overall it was our third year, but I thought it was an outstanding event and very well attended. And we got all 17 teams. 8 in the morning, 9 in the afternoon, and we were able to preview
Jonathan
high school
Gorey
football.
hooked us up from Metro Diner.
That's what I just said. Did a great job by Metro providing the food for the players and coaches, man. And the chicken was outstanding, the chicken and fries, and certainly was filled me up.
Well, man, I tell you, Jonathan, if you're listening right now, I know you'd be cooking from the line because you've opened up 56 minutes ago. But everybody was impressed on how big your chicken tenders were.
Yeah,
and, everybody was impressed.
Which is like 8.
I had 4.
And I don't mean 4 boxes. I mean 4 chicken tenders.
Right. And and we were able to give and big thank you to everybody from the Trash Pandas too, who helped get us in there and make it possible. That venue there for the high school football media days is a phenomenal venue inside the Sports Med Stadium Club.
Yes,
and great size, air conditioned. It works. It's beautiful, and cannot say enough.
The air conditioning was awesome yesterday. So we didn't have to bake like taters outside.
But anyway, don't forget, high school football season does start 1 month from today. That means, by the way, we should have, I believe it's going to be called the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by, and I know for a fact, it's Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. Our good friends from Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware is back for a new season.
Nice.
So I do know that, and I do believe it's going to be, and I believe all the interviews, again, should be powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission.
Yeah, just say that 3 times fast.
Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff coming. We got 1 more hour to go.
Yeah.
It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves have Davis Daniel on the mound, a 1.80 earned run average, minus 105 against Landon Root, 6-6, 3.27 earned run average. Giants minus 115 as they look to end a 6-game losing streak that includes a 9-5 loss to the Braves last night at Truist Park, where the total tonight is 9.5, shaded to the under. NASCAR this week, Brickyard 400, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. No line yet on the race. Kyle Larson is a plus 350 favorite to win the Cup title. Sam Burns, Chris Scott are up both 18-1 to win the 3M Open this week in Minnesota. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right. We are back for hour 2. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back in. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives, helping us put the ball on the tee and get ready for hour number 2. And we have only just begun. We got a lot of stuff to get through, and it was good to run into our next guest as well at SEC Media Days. Had a chance to visit with him for just a minute, and you know what, that day that Auburn was there, we talked a lot about it. And, you know, there are certain days at SEC Media Days where you look at the schedule, and I get it. I mean, the last day just kind of, I know after 4 days, you just want to leave there anyway. But you look at the 4 teams that were there, and it was just kind of like, oh, my goodness, let's just get through this day. But you look at the day that Auburn was there, and, I mean, it was just a star-studded affair. But our next guest was there, and it had a lot to dissect as far as the Auburn Tigers go.
Yeah, no doubt. Brian Matthews is with us, and it was great to catch up with him in the main room at SEC Media Days 2025, live from the College Football Hall of Fame. It was a lot of star power there that day for the Auburn Tigers. I believe it was Georgia, Auburn, Tennessee, and Texas. All there. I mean, it was some outstanding programs. Auburn, I still got them picked along with Oklahoma to make one of the biggest jumps. Thought it would happen a year ago, but I think they're poised for it to happen this season. A lot of talk. I mean, I will say this. If it wasn't for Arch Manning and that circus coming in and being surrounded, I think Jackson Arnold had a ton of media attention as well. And it's interesting because, Auburn will play Oklahoma, and they kind of, switch places there, with each other as far as the quarterback position. And I know Jackson Arnold's really excited about his time to be the Auburn QB, and we're excited to talk to Brian Matthews and get his thoughts on what he heard down there in Atlanta last week, and then some recruiting momentum being created for this Auburn football program. Brian, great to have you back on the show. You were Drew and Scott in Huntsville. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you so much for having me again, and ready to talk some Auburn ball with y'all.
Yeah, good to see you in Atlanta. Good to see you this morning on the YouTube channel as well. Brian, I guess we didn't know what to expect from Hugh Freeze. We didn't know how he would handle SEC Media Days. But I tell you what, if Auburn fans were looking for some optimism, they were looking for something to rally behind, I think Hugh Freeze kind of tried to ignite the fan base, tried to bring the fan base maybe a little bit closer by talking about expectations and
He's
that,
embracing them.
Yeah, and that playoffs and not just settling for mediocrity. They want to get to the playoffs, and he feels like this team can.
Yeah, I'm not sure I think that, but I do think this team needs to take a big step forward in year 3, right? They've recruited 2 top 10 classes. They brought in a really good group of transfers, in my opinion, met some key needs at quarterback and left tackle and, some other areas of the team is shoring up that defense, the linebacker and defensive line group. So, the pieces are there. They just got to go out there and start winning games and stop losing all these games to, teams maybe they shouldn't lose to, and also be more competitive against their top rivals like Georgia and Alabama, which they both have at home, and Georgia will be a night game at Jordan-Hare Stadium October 11th. So there are some big games on this schedule, and it's an opportunity for Auburn to take a big step forward and start winning games again after 4 long years.
Well, and then last year was just really strange because we know what a big home field advantage Jordan-Hare Stadium usually is, Brian. But for whatever reason, whether it was against Cal, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Auburn did not play nearly as well as at home as we're accustomed to seeing them do. Right.
One, I have seen so many talented, highly ranked teams, SEC or others, come into Jordan-Hare Stadium and get their tails whipped because that place is such a tough place to play. And that hasn't necessarily been the case the last 4 years. And I don't think it's because the fans aren't showing up.
Oh, no.
I think it's because in a lot of ways, this team just hasn't been good enough. I haven't been talented enough, haven't played well enough, and haven't been tough enough, right, to pull out those huge wins in the fourth quarter of these games. And that has to change for Auburn football to be what Auburn football is supposed to be and has been.
How do you think, and he hasn't even played a snap for Auburn, but, I was shocked that Jackson Arnold was there. Now, a lot of stuff that we heard, he really has been working with his teammates. Cam Coleman apparently, calls them at all hours of the night wanting to play catch or, run routes and stuff. How do you think Jackson Arnold kind of handled himself in Atlanta?
I thought he did well, from what I could tell. I went over there and talked to Connor Liu and Keldrick Falk and Justin Hokanson, my teammate there, went over and talked to Jackson most of the time, but I got to watch some videos and I caught a little bit of it. So I thought he did a really good job, and it was clear that he had a large group of people, tossing questions at him for sure. But he's been in this before. This is not his first rodeo, so to speak. There's a lot of pressure on him as a first-time starter for Oklahoma last year. And then he got into it, and, there were a lot of things sort of stacked against him. Oklahoma gave up 50 sacks that season. They weren't very good offensively. They had to change their coordinator partway through the season. So that was a tough a few months there for Jackson, and we'll see if Auburn can support him better this fall.
Well, and where Auburn so much of the conversation is about the revenue share and investing your money in your team, Brian, but it's obvious in the offseason that they decided to invest in a quarterback. They didn't the year before. They kept Peyton Thorne. They went and got Jackson Arnold early. And then my question to Hugh Freeze in Atlanta, and I know that's been a big bone of contention for some of the improvement needed at Auburn. But one of their biggest issues, and one of the reasons they haven't been good enough that you mentioned earlier in the segment, is the offensive tackle spot has been a bugaboo in recruiting. But they went out and got the top 2 guys, in the transfer portal, and it looks like they believe hopefully that they've solved those issues. I know they got Too Tall back, but it sounds like they want him to be kind of a swing guy, and they went out and tried to invest and get 2 starters, one on the left and one on the right side, to improve this offensive line, which looks like it could be really, really good from guard to guard.
And, Auburn's been waiting for this for, it seems like, forever. A true left tackle, one that has a chance to play on the next level. Xavier Champlin, I think, was, maybe not the most important signee, but maybe second or third, or probably second at least, behind Jackson Arnold. Of course, quarterback's always going to be number one as far as filling needs, but that was big getting him. And, he's coming off an injury, missed spring, but he is healthy and ready to go, and Auburn needs him to be healthy and perform out there at the left side, protect Jackson Arnold, and give Auburn a true left tackle for the first time in what feels like forever for this team. And, I do think when you look at this offensive line, the projected starters, it's over 150 starts between them.
Yeah.
It's a ton of SEC experience up the middle with Connor Lew, Jeremiah Wright, Dylan Wade, and then you brought in two Power 4 tackles, Xavier Chaplin and the Murphy kid with a whole ton of experience. Plus you've got, as you mentioned, last year's starter, a back, with a ton of experience too, with 2 years under his belt.
Am I right?
Yeah. Sorry. And that's just a really, really good group. It should be Auburn should be positioned to be really good up front. But again, you just got to see it if you're Auburn because it's been so long. Auburn's had so many struggles up front, and we're just going to have to wait and see how it turns out.
And, I think we learned from SEC Media Days that it's probably going to be a running back by committee type of approach for Auburn. Whoever kind of gets going may kind of take the reins on this running game.
Freeze has mentioned that the Cobb kid, Jeremiah Cobb, could step up, and be, the breakout player at running back this year. We'll see. But I think a guy like Damari Alston, has really paid his dues, has been the backup for several years now, is ready to step up and potentially be the starter. Darrell Robinson, I feel like was a nice pickup in the transfer portal for depth. We'll see what he can do. So I think Auburn's got a bunch of options, and I think, they got a couple of good freshmen that are coming in now too, including Omar Mapson, who was kind of a late pickup there, and I think he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, people forget he reclassified to be a part of this 2025 Auburn class. But I'm glad you mentioned Jeremiah Cobb from Montgomery and Catholic High School. I really think he is kind of the wild card. I think he could end up being the guy. He's made some plays in the past, Brian. He's been a really good kickoff returner. He seems to have the home run speed, and I would not be surprised. Now, especially the one thing that's been a bugaboo for Auburn with Damari Alston is his ball security.
Camp would be something to watch early in the season, right? Because if he can hold on to the ball and not have those problems, he's going to play a lot. If he does, it's really going to, somebody else is going to get that shot, right? And I'm excited to see Cobb. And what I'm excited to see or want to see from this group of running backs is just the ability to get off tackles and get yards after contact, right? That's what Jarquez Hunter was so good at, right? That's why he got so many carries. That's why he was the workhorse for the past several seasons at Auburn. And none of these guys, I don't think, have yet proved that they can do that on a consistent basis. So one of them needs to step up and be that guy for Auburn. Maybe they won't have to break as many tackles as Jarquez did because the offensive line performs better up front. And, they'll certainly benefit from that. But that's still a really important asset for any running back to have. And I'll be interested to see which one has developed that over the past couple seasons.
Well, Scott and I will attest to this with Dolph Lundgren. Connor Lew.
Yes. Brian, when his back was turned to us, at first we thought it was Dolph Lundgren standing there because, he was just built – he looks like he's built like a rock.
He would have definitely made the all-suit team.
Yes, that he did.
Falk looked pretty sharp too with his little diamond, encrusted 15 there and the matching bracelets and a watch. But I thought Auburn's contingent looked pretty sharp.
Keldrick, though, a lot of big things are expected
First
from
round
him.
Draft pick,
he's getting a lot of attention, Brian, and a lot of it's worth it because he is phenomenal. But what does he have to do this year to help carry this Auburn team?
He just needs to be the guy he already is. I feel like he's taken steps forward every season, and gotten better and better on the field. He's a guy I feel like can step up at any point in the game and make a play behind the line of scrimmage to disrupt an offense. Make a big tackle for loss or a sack or run somebody down the open field, whatever it takes. He's that type of player on defense. He's a playmaker. And he's also a very, very important leader for this team. Cares about his teammates a whole lot. Wrote a story about him helping out a walk-on with tuition to make sure the young man could stay in school. So I think that says a lot about his character. So Auburn's very, very fortunate to have Keldrick Falk here. And I do think this is probably his last season. He'll probably go on to the NFL next year. But, man, I think he can go out with a big junior season. I really do.
Well, and then before we talk about the recruiting momentum, I wanted to ask about DeMarcus Riddick because he got on the field in some key situations last year, really showcased some outstanding talent. They've lost some talent at the linebacker spot, some experience. Is Riddick a guy that is slated to start, and how big a jump could he make this year? Mm-hmm.
And what a great football player he can become. I mean, it just jumps out at you when you see him play live. So now that he's had a year under his belt, I think he'll have a starting position. I think he'll be put in more positions to make plays. And I think he could be one of Auburn's breakout players on defense. I really do. I think he could be a special player. Got that experience as a freshman, and now we'll see if he can step it up a couple of notches and be more of a consistent playmaker. Get 40, 50 snaps a game and just really impact what Auburn can do on defense. He's definitely one of those guys you're really watching to step up and maybe be a guy people aren't necessarily expecting to be an all. I'm not saying he's all first team all SEC, but that caliber of a defender stepping up into year two in the SEC.
Well, Brian, we've talked a lot about Auburn's shortcomings on the recruiting trail, how it's been slow going and everything. It's only fair that we talk about the fact that Auburn's starting to pick up some pieces over the last couple days as well.
Mm-hmm. We got you, Brian.
Really, Jaquez Wilkes was a really nice pickup. It's from just up the road in Wadley.
Yes,
if you watch him on film, he is a tremendous athlete for a kid that's 6'4", 220 plus and growing. And a guy that plays offense and defense, of course, at Wadley, a smaller school. But you can just see, it just jumps out how big, strong, fast, change of direction. He's got all the things you want for a guy that's going to play linebacker, but in my opinion, probably grow into an edge player, with his frame and be an impact player fairly early in his career. So I think that's a big time pickup for Auburn. I think some places have him in the top 100 prospects in the country, and I certainly think he has that potential to be that type of player.
And then, of course, the offensive tackle spot. It all runs in the family. And Auburn's aviation school really paying off to get an Auburn legacy to commit to the Tigers over Alabama and Florida State. And it's key for Auburn to continue to get these 4- and 5-star level offensive tackle prospects.
Wilson Zaire, another guy that his frame right now around 280. He's not ready to step in and be a left tackle in the SEC today, but you can see his athleticism. He's got nice light feet for a tackle, right? He's got some really long arms, got that reach you want to see. So you can certainly project him as a starting left tackle here in a couple of years once he gets bigger and stronger. So I think another nice pickup. They picked up a couple of SEC, tackle bodies, I would say. The Heppy kid from New Zealand, certainly has that potential, right? We don't know what he's become, but I like that Auburn, even if they're not signing a 5-star offensive tackle, they're at least going out there and getting kids that project potentially as really talented tackles with a lot of upside. I think Wilson Zaire fits that.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he'll be a big piece of the puzzle for Auburn. Well, Brian, it was great to see you in Atlanta. No doubt about it. We always enjoy the intel, and it's been big for Auburn sports now with the merger with On3. So long-time rival site, rivals still there. They're the recruiting side, but a big merger for you guys is with you and the staff from Auburn Live now taking over this beat.
Yeah, it's really exciting to be a part of a team with 5 other guys, and we're just trying to roll out the content as much as we can, provide as much information to our subscribers as possible, recruiting, football, basketball, baseball, anything that's happening, we're trying to be on top of it and get that information out there as quickly and as interestingly as possible. It's been a joy. I'm really enjoying the new network and working with my new team members. It's been terrific.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of the week. Stay cool, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thanks for the intel.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, let's get a break in. 256-576.
We didn't even mention Uncle Keith's red sauce for once. I still have a little bit left, man.
Oh my gosh. I told him when I saw him at SEC Media Days, I was like, Brian, when we talk about Uncle Keith's red sauce,
we use it.
I mean, it's not something we're just saying just to make the listeners whatever.
We weren't talking about Uncle Keith's
stand by Uncle Keith's red sauce. I do. I stand by it. I love it. I think it's some great stuff.
We even got West Neighbors buying it.
Did he really?
Yes, of course.
Did he like it?
Yes.
That's awesome. I did not realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's get a break in. Phone lines are back open to you, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. But hurry, this offer is only good through June 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budget and energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero.
in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. 8:24 on a Tuesday.
And we have Bo Nix on the television.
Bo Nix, yes.
The starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos. And when I saw him in high school, first at Scottsboro and then at Pinson Valley, I really thought he was a big-time player. I know it was a little bumpy at Auburn, but he had a good run at Oregon. He's got off to a good start, in Denver, and with an outstanding coach. He's a Super Bowl champion, and I think he's in a good spot.
I think so. College football news and notes. Did you see this story yesterday? And I know we were busy tied up with high school football media days, but Ross Dellinger was the first one to put this out.
They don't want him to. They don't want the $200 million.
Memphis, had come to the table. Memphis wants a seat with the big boys.
Yeah, they're aggressively trying to join the Who.
They want a seat in the Big 12, so much so that they offered the Big 12 not 10, not 20, not 100, not 150, but $200 million to enter the conference.
And the Who doesn't want it.
The Who doesn't want it. It was one of the most aggressive membership propositions in college athletics history, Dellinger reports. Hundreds of millions of dollars in sponsorship commitments to the Big 12. And
not going to pay him anything for 5 years.
No, they didn't want it. Memphis did not want any money, any distribution money from the conference for 5 years.
Yeah,
and the Big 12 said, nah, we good.
Yeah. So Memphis, even with their football team and program improving over the last decade plus, they just, for whatever reason, they had Mike Norvell, they had Justin Fuente, they're coming off an 11-win season. Nobody will let them in. They've been aggressively trying to, get into a Power Four conference, and I've always talked about it. I thought years ago they might even be a candidate for the SEC, but that obviously hasn't happened, and it would help Memphis basketball and to get out of the what are they calling it? I don't know.
They're in the American Conference.
I know,
now.
but they're renaming it again or something.
It's called the American Conference.
Oh.
And remember, they also came out with a mascot.
The American?
They come out with they were the American Athletic Conference.
The AAC, and then the American. So it was the American Athletic Conference. So now it's just the American.
The American Conference.
Okay.
And they have a mascot too, by the way.
What's the mascot?
Did you not see the mascot?
I didn't see the mascot.
It's an eagle.
I was taught. Well, that makes sense. I mean, I thought maybe it might be maybe an eagle with an American flag. I didn't know, but
let's see here if I can pull it up for you so you can see what the
American Conference.
The American Conference, yes. The American Conference, and it has.
And yet Memphis wants to pay to get out of the American Conference.
Well, and they have been visiting several Big 12 schools
the what
to get
is talking
support.
To them. The what is talking to them.
The what? Yes. Here is that. This is the American Athletic. This is the American Conference. Not
American.
That's the mascot.
Okay.
That was a resounding
Now they may be talking to the what?
Well, they need to go where?
I don't know. Who's on first?
Because the Who doesn't want them, the what doesn't need them.
Yeah, exactly. The Who is, of course, the Big 12.
The what is the Pac-12.
Well, the what does the what should need them.
The what just got done getting all their teams. That they don't need them.
Why?
What conference is that?
The what is the Pac-12? They just added Texas State. How can you not need Memphis when you took Texas State?
But now listen, though, if Memphis would say, Okay.
Now, does it make any sense?
No, it
that
doesn't
Memphis
make any
would
sense.
be in the Pac-12.
It wouldn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But to me, that would be more of a lateral move to leave the American to go to the Pac-12 with all the schools there. I mean, with the exception of Oregon State and Washington State, it wouldn't be much better than going to the American. I can see why they would want to go to the WHO. I just don't understand where they're going to go now if the WHO doesn't want them.
Who the Bush Leagues are. The Bush Leagues is the ACC because of the football, but I guess they don't want Memphis either.
No.
You think they'd want them to kind of build back their basketball brand?
Oh, did you see that the basketball and the basketball got in trouble? Penny Hardaway got in trouble.
Well, how many times has he not? I mean, that's like every other month. He had to fire his whole coaching staff before last year.
Let's see here. I got this is, yes, they got, okay. They're facing multiple issues, including NCAA probation, potential recruiting violations. This one here is I gotta find this. Oh, okay. Yes. Here we go. This, you'll get a kick out of this one.
Oh, this sounds great.
Yeah. They announced penalties for the Memphis men's basketball program and softball programs. They announced this last week when we were in Atlanta.
Right.
Okay. And
Stephanie Van Brakel will pro throw before she left. She broke the rules.
As a result of an investigation into an academic integrity violations. Okay. The investigation concluded that 2 softball players were paid a combined $550.
$550 whole dollars?
Yeah, by a former academic advisor to give the basketball players test and quiz answers and do some of his coursework for him.
Well, that's just shocking.
3 players competed in 20 contests while ineligible. Both programs will be placed on a 2-year probation, fined $30,000 plus 1% of their combined budget.
Well, I can just tell you, this stuff goes on with all this giving them answers and everything. Why do you think they have fraternities? And I can tell you this: when I was in
there goes all the fraternities.
And I know you remember because this coincided with about the time that you came to Huntsville to start working in your television career.
Yeah.
Because you were covering the D League at the time.
Yes.
It was the D League, not the G League.
It was the D League.
It was the D League.
Yes.
Brent Wright was in the D League. We called him B-Dub. He was a teammate of Greg Stoltz at Florida.
Okay.
And B-Dub's elevator didn't go all the way to the top because this was still early in the cell phone days, Scott. And he had 2 cell phones. He had one, he said, to make the phone calls, and then his other phone had the numbers in it, man. That was B-Dub. So needless to say, I don't think B-Dub took his ACT, okay?
He probably couldn't spell ACT.
But that was the B-Dub story that I got.
What was the old joke back in the day? I mean, if you can at least put wasn't it in the program or whatever, is if you can at least put your name on the ACT,
you have a 10 or 11.
You get a 10 or 11.
Or something like
Some
that.
people couldn't even put their names on there.
And then they would always joke that some people couldn't spell cat with the C and the A.
Anyway, I thought you'd get a kick out of that Memphis basketball.
I mean, B-Dub was a good player, but it just, that's just his elevator didn't go all the way to the top, man.
The NCAA is doing your favorite thing. They're vacating the records from the 20 games that the players participated in when ineligible.
That old vacating, man. It hurts you so bad. Why don't you dock their NIL collective or something?
They did 1% of their budget. It didn't matter. The games didn't play. They played it, but they didn't play it. Anyway.
But I thought you'd like that beat-up story.
He had one for the phone calls and one for the number.
He had one for his calls and one for his number.
So he could. And you know what? Back then, cell phones weren't small either.
Exactly. They were big.
They weren't like, yes, they weren't.
They weren't those bag phones, but still.
No, you know what? That was my very first phone. My parents, when I was in college,
right?
It was my junior year. I got a bag phone. That was my very first. Yes, that was my very first cell phone. It was a bag phone, and I had a battery, but to recharge, I could charge it up at night at the house.
Yeah.
Or if I was in the car, I could plug it into the cigarette lighter, and the battery would run, and it would charge, and I could use it. But I could call from phone, and I had minutes. Mom and Dad were like, "Okay, this month, your cell phone plan is 20 or 25 or 30 minutes a month, and that was it. You couldn't go over because then you paid overage charges."
Well, I didn't have a bag phone. I had one of the Motorola flippers, the big thick plastic ones, and I could only have it in the car, and I'd plug it up when I was driving, and it didn't have a whole lot of service, as far as in most places, it didn't have a broad reach, because I would try to dial it or something, and all you get is a beep, 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 beep.
My roommates got a kick out of the phone because when because we would venture around certain places, and we would call and get pizza. We would order it. But by the time we got home, we could time it so the delivery guy would be there. So we thought we were really cool ordering pizza from the car and getting it delivered and stuff while we were en route.
Scott, the Wolf of Wall Street, with his bag phone.
My bag phone. It was pretty cool, by the way. I was loving my bag phone.
Well, see, B-Dub, he wouldn't have been able to put his numbers in that phone.
Well, you know what? Because, back in the all the movies or whatever, the limos had phones.
Yeah.
And the phone and the pad was on the top of the phone to dial it. Well, that's what was my bag phone. The numbers were on top of the phone. So it was really cool because you could pick it up. You were dialing. I don't know. Anyway, let's get a break in. 256-576-4977. Join the conversation next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather, brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We stay warm as we head into the overnight. Temperatures only dropping into the mid-70s. A mostly to partly sunny sky for your Wednesday afternoon. Going to be warm once again. Air temperatures climbing into the low and mid-90s. It'll feel like we're in the lower triple digits. A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible Wednesday afternoon. We'll repeat this process on Thursday.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Kentuckylaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Swing on lifted, deep left, back goes O'Donnell. He looks up, it's gone, and it's over. Denzer again. The goose is loose.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
But I'm as blue as a boy can be.
Oh, my goodness. That is so fitting right now because during the break we were laughing at Memphis.
Yeah.
Because the school put out a tweet yesterday that said a proud member of the American Conference built to rise, and then they go out and try to offer $200 million to go to the Big 12. So it's kind of ironic that they put that out there. Now, when we were at SEC Media Days, one of the good things is that you get to visit with a lot of different people about different programs. And the Kentucky Wildcats was a program that we got to visit with and we got to talk about. And you really get a chance to, whether you're doing the interview or even if you're just chatting with over lunch, you get to really find out what's going on sometimes behind the curtains. And Kentucky's intriguing because we joke a lot about the fact that if Kentucky football does not go well, that it's always basketball season at Kentucky. Yeah. Well, we were asking, remember we had Nick Roush on yesterday, and we asked him point blank about the financial situation as far as Kentucky football goes with the revenue share, how much they're going to use, what does their budget look like? Well, now there's a story. Mitch Barnhart, he's not disclosed how much, but there's a story. Matt Norlander from CBS Sports put out an article yesterday saying that they believe that Kentucky is going to use about 45% of their cap money on basketball.
Well, they've already off to a great start because they're paying everybody. They're paying Mo Diabate about $2.5 million, and he's a winner. He makes winning plays, but he's not the most proficient offensive player in the world. And we talked about it. They went above and beyond. They were some of the most aggressive. Yeah. They probably were the most aggressive program in the transfer portal, and did an amazing job revamping their roster and, of course, recruiting out of the high school level. But a lot of expectation for Kentucky to get back atop the SEC in basketball.
Are you shocked by that? Because if you think, football is not going to get 50% of that much money. So it appears that Kentucky is going to spend more on basketball than it will on its football program.
Yeah, not surprised. It's a basketball school. Just ask the band guy.
The band guy?
Yeah.
What does the band guy have to do?
He's too busy worshiping Rupp the racist.
Oh, got it.
Because remember,
the band guy. I thought you were talking about the band director. I'm thinking,
no.
But I saw that number and I was like,
remember,
wow. If that's true.
This Kentucky program is also paying allegedly, Denzel Aberdeen, who's a national champion at Florida, didn't even start paying him $2.5 million.
Because Nick Roush, he told us that he felt like last year Kentucky football put a product out on the field that was only worth about $5 million as a paid unit.
And that's the football team.
Yeah, the football team. And this year he feels like it's probably around maybe 15 million or whatever. But we give Mark Stoops a hard time about, oh my gosh, is he on the hot seat? But is Mark Stoops coaching with 1.5 hands tied behind his back?
We'll see. But, I thought Stoops was measured in what he said in Atlanta, and he knows they got to get better. But I think he still has some equity left. Certainly it was a tough year going 4-8. But look, he's the winningest coach in Kentucky history, as the band guy would say. And he's, certainly, gotten him to 8 bowl games. He's won bowl games.
he's done everything but make the playoff, okay, and which is going to be very difficult to do at Kentucky, along with winning the SEC championship. But and I've said this before, actually, with Kentucky football right now, it will be easier to make the playoff than win the conference, okay. Because there have been a few times, and really a couple times, and Coach Stoops mentioned it in his remarks, that he's had a couple 10-win seasons at Kentucky, which with a 12 to 16 team playoff likely would have had them in it. Okay,
correct.
But we didn't have an expanded playoff at that time, so they need to get back on track. He's had stability in his coaching staff, and for the first time, and I don't know how many years, they're bringing back. Their offensive coordinator and play caller, which he's very excited about.
Yeah, that's been a tough couple of years because Liam Cohen comes, Liam Cohen goes,
Liam Cohen's an NFL head coach.
Yeah,
so there you go. So they brought back their OC, and they're excited about that, and it's going to be interesting because now they've got a former Auburn quarterback that never played for Auburn because he got hurt.
Zach Calzada
from Incarnate Word. And who came from Incarnate Word, Scott? Come on, who came from Incarnate Word?
Oh, some dude that's playing up in Tennessee now, right?
Yeah.
Went to Miami. Cam Ward. Hey, Ricky Williams also coached at Incarnate Word for a little bit. Remember that?
And he smoked some Doja too.
At Incarnate Word.
Probably, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I just know when he played because in the NFL, he got into it with the players' union and everything for the drug tests and everything.
Peace, love, and happiness.
And then he went on some sabbatical and left the country and was living in a hut. I don't know, with no air conditioning. I couldn't do it.
Well, you tried to live in a hut with no air conditioning.
I felt like I was in one 2 days ago, but luckily it all worked out.
What is Ricky Williams up to? He's 48 years old, by the way.
Yeah, I thought he was still trying to coach. I'm not sure. I saw him on a podcast. He looked a little disheveled. But he's a hell of a player, and he spoke highly of Nick Saban, so that's always good.
Yeah. I don't know what he was
don't
doing.
ever forget that Mike Dick had traded a whole draft for him and then wore a wig.
Oh, anyway, after football, here we go. After about 2017, he served as an analyst at Longhorn. Well, he did serve as an analyst for the Longhorn Network for several years. He then became a wellness expert, entrepreneur, co-founder of Real Wellness Herbal, a licensed astrologer, and a CEO of Lila Astrology. So he's into the stars.
He was always a little different.
Go out to the desert and
Don't
just
forget
look
he's
at the
from San
stars.
Diego in the great state of California.
Well, San Diego's good. Now, if I could go anywhere, I would go to San Diego.
It's a beautiful city. I just don't want to get in the freaking state of California.
Annex it into somewhere else.
Yeah.
8:46. I tell you what, let's get our final break in. Your tomorrow's headlines come up next. The Atlanta Braves looked good last night.
They won, but now Ozuna could be on the move.
Yeah, well, we'll talk some Atlanta Braves because the trade deadline is 8 days away, 9 days away, somewhere like that. Yeah. We'll talk some little Braves baseball next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Have you seen the beautiful new Nexus apartment community right next to UAH? Nexus is designed exclusively for students. You'll love having private bedrooms and bathrooms, a fully furnished kitchen, and incredible amenities like 2 courtyards, a refreshing pool with grilling stations, and TV, gaming, and study lounges, all within an easy walk to campus and your classes. If you want the full collegiate experience, come take a personal tour at Nexus today. Log on nexusonhomes.com to see more, including limited time rate specials.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I'm here with our good friend John Kendall. He's got 23 years of retail mortgage experience in the Tennessee Valley, and he's powered up with the #1 retail mortgage lender in the nation.
That's right, Scott. We have joined with Cross Country Mortgage, and that is true. We're the #1 retail mortgage lender in America. And with that powerhouse team and our experience here locally, we're ready to go.
They've got 120 mortgage, refinance, and home equity solutions to fit every need. If you call on Cross Country Mortgage, it is for the win.
That's right. You can reach me, Scott, at 256-562-3780, or you can go to crosscountrymortgage.com and then search my name.
It's Cross Country Mortgage and John Kendall, a powerhouse team. One more time, John.
That's crosscountrymortgage.com, 256-562-3780. If we can't close your loan, it simply cannot be closed.
Equal Housing Opportunity Company in MLS, number 3029.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Trade deadline, Major League Baseball coming up a week from Thursday. The Atlanta Braves do get a win last night. That's not going to calm the fires down.
They're still going to be selling.
Yeah, here's the expectations surrounding the Atlanta Braves right now. Reports are saying that Atlanta is expected to listen to trade offers for catchers, second baseman Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris, and Sean Murphy, but not until the winter. Okay, so that is what's to be expected. Now, they are letting teams know that Marcell Ozuna, Raciel Iglesias, and reliever Pierce Johnson are still available right now, according to reports surrounding the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, their bullpen's pathetic. I mean, it's just an abomination. And so they did get off to a good start against the struggling San Francisco Giants yesterday. They built a 5-1 lead. They ended up winning 9-5. Drake Baldwin had a great game. And I think Drake will take on the majority of the DH at bats. Sean Murphy will be behind the plate if they trade Ozuna. And then he and Murphy and Baldwin can rotate at that spot. We'll see. I know they called up, a third catcher, but I personally hope they keep Murphy. I hope they keep, and I know they want to build, use Drake Baldwin as a building block. And I'm hoping that Michael Harris will start showing signs of coming out of this because they signed him to a long-term deal. Now, Ozzie Albies, his contract is kind of, is almost up. And so We'll see what's going to happen. Ronald Acuna continues to do ridiculous things, like scoring from first on a single up the middle.
Yeah, Freddie Gonzalez tried holding him up last night.
He ran through the
sign. Yeah, Brian Snitker after the game was like telling Freddie Gonzalez in the locker room that, hey, look, if there's one guy on the team right now that can do that, It is Ronald Acuna because
we saw
he's
the
got
throw
another
on
jet gear
against on no hops, looking like Bo Jackson against
Yeah.
the Yankees, and in the one Braves win in that series, and then he hit a 456-foot bomb. Not yesterday, but the day before. He's just doing ridiculous things. You cannot trade him. I know he's had 2 knee injuries, but he continues to come back from them. You have to find a way to get better around him. The Braves have enough payroll flexibility. If Liberty Media would get off their butts and, start trying to spend some money instead of trying to be half A's, half Yankees, which doesn't work. So, you've got to either be all in or all out. And if you're all out, you'll end up playing against as many fans as the Sacramento A's do.
So you can't be an Arnold Palmer, huh? You can't be half sweet tea, half lemonade. No. You got to either be sweet tea
that
or
was
lemonade.
Interesting. I know there was a lot of talk about that when I was walking into the last day with a third of a jug.
I wasn't going to go there, but now since you did,
it was good. I didn't want Steve to pour it out. Don't waste money.
Yeah, there was a lot of people on social media that thought you walk around with a gallon
I do not. That was the last day. I've got from our great sponsor, SportsMed, I do have some water today.
I got a lot of responses from that people literally are like, "What is it? Does Drew literally walk around with a gallon of drink?"
No, I did. Now I will say, allegedly, I did have 6 Apple Burst Gatorades in my backpack. I didn't have. Yesterday I came locked and loaded with some sacks, from the grocery store,
right?
So I could sack up water and some other stuff. I didn't have anything. I wished I had brought those with me, so I could have sacked up about 12 to 18 of those Apple Burst because the SEC didn't give a rat's crap.
You could have gotten one.
Well, I didn't think about it. I should have had them in my backpack, so I could have just started sacking them up. Because I would have brought more.
You would have cleaned them out.
I would have, nearly.
Oh, yes. For those that don't know
anybody listening to the show, if you know where Apple Burst is in Huntsville, let me know.
Yeah, Drew is in search of Apple Burst Gatorade Zeros.
Yeah, it tastes like an Apple Jolly Rancher.
He's trying to find those, and he's not been able to find them. Now, SEC Media Days, the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, was kind enough to provide us with beverages.
My only regret is I didn't find them until the freaking second day.
And then we leave, and you didn't take any.
I took 6. They're already gone, though.
Anyway, that's been fun. Hey, tomorrow, in case you have forgotten how to get there, we're going to be in the studio.
Who? Where?
Why?
I don't know. Who's on first?
Anyway, we're going to be in studio tomorrow on a Wednesday. It's Talkin Ball 97.7 ESPN. The Zone. Big thank you to our good friends here at Bill Penney Toyota Service Department. Their doors are open at 7 o'clock Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday they're open till 5.
Well, that's what I was doing coming in here today. So a lady was asking me, where's the service department? I said, it's right behind you. It's that big line.
There you go. Way to be helpful.
John Abraham here for Bobcat of Huntsville. Right now till the end of June, you can get 0% financing on the world-famous line of Bobcat skid steers, excavators, mowers, and tractors. Need attachments? They got them. And did I mention 0% as in nada? No financing charge for 48 months. It's like free money. Visit the brand new Bobcat of Huntsville in their tremendous new facilities on Highway 20 in Madison, right next to Redstone Harley-Davidson.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the